What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is day 3 of me recording and actually trying to do stuff. Today we're gonna run up to the store real fast because I need some liquid motivation. I need liquid motivation. I need some Red Bull. So we're gonna rock the Hemi. Oh look, we got some leftover fast food from a couple days ago. Wham! All right. Let me get my little feetsies expanded out, y'all. I hope you guys enjoy the ride of the 03 Raminator. Yeah, that's a pretty crappy angle. I like that. All right. Well, anyway, so today I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and start part 2 of the cleanup attempt for the barn. I'm going to do a little skeety boy. There we go. Alright. Everybody likes a little bit of action every now and again. Go ahead and put that seatbelt on now. Anyway, what I was saying is sit you boys and girls up here. See if I can. Hey, that's all right for right now. I hope the noise isn't too bad because I'm here to say it's a gravel road. So what are you gonna do? Nah, but for real, the cleanup on the barn really needs to happen. There's a lot of stuff that I need to shuffle around. There's just big items that I haven't really been able to do anything with. I haven't been able to move them, turn them around, shuffle them over anywhere. So today's going to be the day where part 2 starts. I'm gonna start officially trying to shuffle some of the bigger items around so that I can open up some space so that I can, I guess, decompress my barn and slowly pull things out bit by bit, and then we're gonna try and organize them, and then put it all back in a much nicer, neater, more usable, utilitarian fashion. Hey, comrade. That was a joke, by the way. I'm not I'm not that serious about it. There ain't no communism here. Don't worry. I just like sounding Russian when I can. I think it's pretty good accent. I'm not perfect, but I do my best. But anyway, it is what it is. The cleanup's a pretty big deal. It's been holding me back on trying to do a lot of these jobs. And if you saw today's video, which is Friday, today's Friday. If you saw the video I uploaded this morning or yesterday morning, whenever you're seeing this, because I'll probably upload this video tomorrow. You'll notice I started working on the Passat, and it was just, there was a couple of moments where like going and getting stuff and trying to find this or that just became a bit of a pain in the ass, and I ultimately decided that I really just didn't want to deal with it anymore. So today, cleanup. The agenda for today, immediately I know that I kind of want to try and get some tires moved around. I've got a bunch of tires, and they're all terrible in their organization. I have at least one set of tires that I can absolutely go ahead and just put that in the back of the truck that they're for, because I don't know when I'm going to get around to that 250, if I'm ever going to get around to that 250, but I need to try and keep everything for that truck with that truck, and part of that is actually a set of 35s that I picked up for free. They've got bad tires on them, but they're I think they're either the Expedition 8-lug wheels or they're the King Ranch 8-lug wheels. Either way, they're not terribly great. The tires are pretty well slick on them, but they hold air, and the idea was I was going to have the stock tires taken off of the steel wheels that are on the truck now, and I was going to have them mounted on the alloys so that the truck at least had a set of alloys on it. But now we're just going to throw them up in the back. Same for some of the other tires that are up there. I've got a set of tires that I pulled off of Amanda's Beetle there's not really much of a need for them to be out and about and in the fray. So I'm going to find a little corner to try and tuck them away in. Oh, look at that. We're almost to the store. I hope this has been relatively smooth to listen to. But I'm gonna pause it, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes after I'm done at the store. It'll be a flash for you, though. All right. Now that flash is over, we now have our liquid motivation. If I can get the damn seatbelt on. Click. There we go. Yeah, now back up on the screen. Let's go ahead and get on out of here. Get on back to the house. We're gonna start this cleanup. Oh boy. We are getting it. Well, this is a little tiny glimpse of my my little area. This is Gatesville, North Carolina. If you look at northeast North Carolina and you look underneath of Suffolk, Virginia, you'll see a tiny county. It's not tiny, but you'll see a county where the shape of the county is almost kind of reminiscent of the United States outline, minus Florida. So I'm like right smack in the middle, like literally in the middle of that county. When I pop up my GPS and start, dropping pins for people and stuff, it's hilarious. I am almost dead center, north-south, and east-west. It is flipping hilarious. But yeah. Open up that there Hemi just a little bit. That lifter tapping beauty. Wow. You notice I can't really see my turn? Now you can kind of sort of see the stop sign. Watch this turn. Watch how awful this is. I hate coming in here and out of here with the truck and trailer. But you gotta swing super hard. Yeah, drop down. Bam. And there we are. Then we just troll our way up in here, and I am the first house on the right. Actually, that Edna sign that was just on the left, if you ever get my address to come stop by, if you listen to the GPS, it'll actually tell you that EDA sign is my address, when really it's down here on the right. Hey, you see we got a little bit of skitty boys in there. That was fun. Yeah, we're doing it. Oh yeah. Swing this big bitch back around. Doot, doot, doot. Yeah. Okie dokie. We are locked in at the house. Speaking of which, 212, 261. Lifter taps its ass off, but it has been lifter tapping since 160,000 miles, give or take. So I don't think it's wiping the camshaft. I think it's actually, because I put like 50,000 miles and like 20 some oil changes on this knocking out lifter, and yeah, I haven't actually had any real issue out of it. The truck runs fantastically. Doesn't act like there's any compression loss or anything like that whatsoever. So I guess I'll just rock it until it dies, and then I'll put a set of heads on it and put a new cam in it, and I might go a little big and put a slightly larger camshaft in it and maybe some valve springs or something. I've seen the Hemis, they really respond well to turning them up with a cam. Head packages for those things make them scream, which I am totally okay with. Alright, so in an attempt to try to mitigate some of the glares and stuff, I am going to attempt to keep you guys here in this shade. Move all this junk out of the way so that we can kind of see what's up, because all this stuff's got to be figured out. Stuff like this where I've brought car parts into the barn. This is actually out of the Passat. This is part of the rain tray. It's supposed to keep the water off of the supposed to keep the water out of the rain tray and keep it off of the cabin filter. I can't stand that cars have cabin filters. It's such a stupid thing. If you just design it well enough, you can make a catch that would be serviceable, and you can just dump the catch out. But far be it from me to tell any manufacturer not to put an extra part on a car that it doesn't need in order to make more money off of us. So, you know, it is what it is. Cheers. Yummy. So that's definitely something I need to do. I need to go around and find all these little itty bitty light bulbs and other things, and somehow I need more storage and less storage at the same time. This is the ECM, which is supposed to be stage 1 with deleting the immobilizer. Oh, I'm actually scared to open it. I thought about trying to open it to see what the insides smelled like, essentially, because if something's burning, like if a circuit has gone bad, you can usually smell that as burnt electronics, and I'm just worried to open it, because if it's not bad and I have static electricity built up on me, it can theoretically cause like real issues. This is the old cluster out of my Jetta. I'll slide this up here for the time being. I actually need to go around and find all of the gauge clusters that I've got so that I can get them lined up and figure out which ones are which ones have problems. Let's see. I forget what 1068 gaskets were. I think that's like small block Chevy and Ford and any of the older stuff. So we'll hang on to that. There ain't no need in getting rid of new stuff, especially since I bought it. I'm pretty sure I bought those gaskets for the little Nissan hardbody that you guys never saw. You may have seen it in the back of a video here and there, but I don't believe I did any videos on it, and I know for sure that I didn't upload anything about it, so you probably never saw it. But it was a 88 hardbody. I picked it up for like $900, and then I put, I don't know, probably another $700 into it, and it still needed work when it left. But I got to the point to where I'd gotten my cancer diagnosis, and because that truck had already set for so long, I did not want to risk it sitting again for even longer and end up freezing up again like it had. So I posted her up and sat on it for a while, but ultimately I ended up getting rid of it, and I was pretty satisfied with what I got as far as the money that I had invested into it. The guy thought my pricing was reasonable considering the work that had already been done and the value and condition of the truck. The truck was actually in decent shape. The bed was rotted out real bad, but if you've ever looked at maybe purchasing a hard body, I'm pretty sure you have found out already that those trucks are awful for rust. Toyotas, Nissans, all them 80s small trucks. I don't think Japan ever had American salted roads in mind when they designed those things, and so I think I think they did as badly as they did just because it was an oversight on not enough protections, not enough undercoating. Now, I say that loosely because there's plenty of cases where less is more, but that's, in my opinion, not one of them. All right. Don't let me forget. I really want to move those tires and stuff, and I really want to try and work on the underside of the barn over there. Try and get that lean-to a little more cleared out so that I can have access to that space. So, for starters, some of the cars that are in the yard, I don't really want them in the yard anymore. I'd like them to be under the barn or under some sort of cover. And unfortunately, it's not looking real likely that I'll have the money to buy another building or put up any kind of anything like that. So my goal is to get everything sorted and organized in enough of a capacity where I can start utilizing the space under the roof to do things with. And I have like 2 cars left that I want to get out of the rain, out of the sun, because I don't want the sun to degrade them any further than what they've been. I've got a car that came here and it still had most of its clear coat, and over the course of the year that it's set, it's lost most of its clear coat. And so I really don't want to ruin anything any worse than it needs to be ruined. So just trying to get some of this stuff covered again is hopefully going to make the world of difference and convenience over time to try and get this stuff tightened out. I hope y'all don't mind. I'm going to have me a smoke. I don't recommend it. Don't do this. If you haven't started smoking, don't ever start. Oh good, we're still recording too. Alright, so man, there's so much. There's so much up here that I need to go through. Such a damn shame. Oh boy. It's a seat adjuster handle for a Mark IV B5. Y'all already know what horns are. It's actually got a good bulb in there. I'm not sure. I think this was one that I was trying to polish up a little bit. Had a couple of ideas for it, but ultimately ended up going a different direction because I'm not the biggest fan of the orange and red. I kind of like the red with the smoke up there. You just use an orange bulb. Although that's a reverse light. That goes on the trunk lid. That actually is the passenger side one. You can tell because it doesn't have a keyhole in it. Because that's on a Jetta how you open the trunk. You press the keyhole inside of the light. Which chip is this? Oh, sick. So that's another thing I forgot I had. I have a spare Autotech cam. It's an OBD1 chip too, by the way. We're gonna put this down in the drawer. We're gonna try and save that one. Autotech used to be the deal back in the day. They were the bee's knees. Autotech, New Speed, they were like the tickets when I was a teenager. But now there's companies like Reflect that do tunes, and they pretty well indiscriminately will tune anything, and it's relatively affordable. I think they sell their prom chips on eBay for like $120, which is better than the 160 that the TT chips cost. But the thing is, when you buy a TT chip, you're buying a very well-known name in the Volkswagen industry, in the enthusiast world, and so it comes with a couple of guarantees that the quality is going to be up there, the longevity, it's going to be there. There's a lot of really good things that used to come out of TT. I mean, they still make great products. I'm not saying anything. None of the quality has ever dropped. TT is a solid standard for the industry. But given the fact that Mark IIIs are 20 plus years old, some of them are starting to creep up on 30 to 32 years old, because in America, Mark III started in 93 sometime, and they ended in 99, like early 99. And so the 93 models are 32 years old. I have the Jetta. It's not here. Amanda drove it today. But the Jetta is a 94, so I've got antique tags on it because it's 30 years old. These little wash hose gaskets, those are always important. I'm also trying to save all these little plastic rubber tips and caps and stuff so that I can use them for block-offs in the future. A lot of my problem is that I try way too hard to save too many things that I just don't have to save, and I don't really understand why I do it. I wouldn't say I'm a hoarder, because I absolutely throw stuff away, but I think what it is it's because I'm an enthusiast, and I've learned over the last 7-8 years that a lot of Mark IIIs got crushed, and so there's just not an availability of parts, and there are still a lot of parts from Mark III that are made and produced, sure, alternators, brakes, AC stuff, and shit like that, absolutely. But like body panels, interior pieces, especially plastics, no company has really picked up trying to recast most of the plastics for interior pieces. And that's to say for most cars, that there's one company, one guy on eBay, and he wants like $600 for him, but he makes, it's almost like the plastic that you see a lot of the it's like the plastic that you see heated and then suction molded, vacuum molded to like a gun. It's like that ABS-esque texture, but it's durable. They make door panels for the Beetles. Excuse me. But you also, if you're a Volkswagen person, if you've ever seen a Beetle, you already know that the door cards in those were shit. The plastics in the interiors were shit. They cracked within years of being new. So now, 20-some years later, they're even worse off. But anyway, we're going to skip the barn for a little bit. Like I said, I think I want to get after some of the stuff out here. And you see a lot of this stuff. There's nothing wrong with some of it, but like these tires, for example. These are some mud tires that I'd had on my Dodge over yonder. I ended up taking them off and putting street tires back on them because I wasn't finding myself in need for these things anymore. And because I wasn't in need of them anymore, I just replaced them from the roughness. They made all kinds of racket. And you can see out here, I've got a bunch of junk just all kind of sitting around. There's the bag of cans, a whole bunch of drain bottles for when Morgan decides to bring me his truck. I got a damaged Mark III hood. It's only got a little bit of damage. That's why I haven't thrown it away just yet, because it's better than what I've got, and it's the hood that actually came on Jenny when I bought it from my buddy Austin. And I don't know if you'll remember Jenny either, because again, there's another car I didn't really do anything with, but these are actually the old tires that used to be on Disappointment right here. Oh, it's looking so sad. I really need to put a battery in here and start it up and bring it out. I don't think there's much fuel left in it, so I should probably run it out and freshen it up, throw some stable in it or something. But basically, all this stuff needs to be dealt with in one way or another, and it all needs to go away. So I think I'm going to set you over here on the hood. That's looking a little far down. Yeah, that looks alright. Okay. the whole idea behind the cleanup, like I said, you see you're sitting on a car, there is space for another car to be under the roof and at least be out of the rain and out of most of the sunlight for the better part of the day. I don't mind a little bit of the morning sun coming in here and kissing the front end of a car, but I don't really feel like I want the long-term lasting damage of what all this stuff causes. And I see my back tires from the truck were actually in really good shape. The centers were worn down a little bit, but that's also because I tend to overinflate my tires. I'm that guy that likes a stiff tire. I'm not a big fan of sidewall wiggle. Who knows, maybe if I can keep this up and I can keep coming out and recording a little bit of this every single day, maybe I can shave some of this down and get back to where I was before I got sick. So I was right at 190 pounds, which I'm 5'10", 5'11", so I think according to the doctor I'm like 20 pounds, 30 pounds overweight. I think 165 is what they claim I should be. And of course, that's all subjective. You know, any doctor that sees you and sees specifically like what you're dealing with, they may say otherwise and do other things. But for me, it's not that serious. I actually think I'm going to put y'all up here. That way you're not looking up at me quite as badly. Yeah, that'll probably do for the time. It's funny, these are the Beetle wheels that came on Amanda's car. Only one of the tires holds air anymore. It's actually kind of fucked up. Alright. So you see, this one, I had some belts, had some real cupping issues. So the fact that they hold air, that was already a win, because I originally got these for that 250 that was over there, the 93, but I didn't realize that they had done I didn't realize that they had changed their lug pattern on the newer trucks to a slightly larger 8 lug pattern. So instead of being 8 by 5.5 or 8 by 6.5 or whatever the hell it's supposed to be, these are 8 by 170, which is just the tiniest bit bigger, and they were free. So I wasn't like offended when they didn't fit or weren't gonna work, because I didn't even Google it. I just saw Ford wheels and tires that were 8 lug, and they were for free, and I was like, oh yeah, them. So, what are you gonna do? Alright. We're gonna just set that there. I think this is the one decent tire that came off of the Beetle, and it actually, the tire itself looks like it's in good shape, but it's a Century, so it's not like it's some high-end. I mean, it doesn't matter. You've seen the Beetle. I don't know if you can see it now, but it's got Mark V GTI wheels on it, so we are already on to bigger, better, nicer things with that car. So these wheels are largely just going to be on standby. I may, at some point, get the tires removed, and I might go through and see if I can. I have a couple sets of these Beetle wheels. If I can find one good solid set and then get me a set of center caps for them, I could see using them on a Mark III or even a Mark II, just because, in my opinion, next year's body style, the wheels that come on the newest cars always, for some reason, look better on the previous model. So, like, for example, in 2003, when the Gen 3 Ram came out and they had those 20-inch daisies like I've got, the next facelift for the Gen 3.5, they kept the big 5-spoke theme, but they went with a little bit slightly more narrow spoke pattern. Wasn't the daisy anymore. I've seen that wheel on my body style, and it looks good. It looks really good. And that's usually what I have found on a lot of things. For example, the wagon. Let me grab you real quick. You look over at the wagon, that's a 2002 B5, B5.5 Passat, right? So those wheels are actually off of like a 2011 Jetta GLI, 2012 Jetta GLI. So it's just another example of a brand new wheel off of a newer car going onto an older car and looking better. And then you look at the Beetle. The Beetle's a Mark IV. It's a 01. It's kind of related to the electronics in the Passat. And so another example of this was the stock wheel, and then that is a different stock wheel. 17 inch by 8, 16 by 7. I mean, it speaks for itself. Like, it's a great swap. And the beauty is, a lot of times people, they go get aftermarket rims and tires to make their car look a little bit more personal. And in that process, they end up selling, sometimes for really cheap, their stock wheels just because they don't have a garage or a shed or a space to be able to put an entire set of wheels and tires up. So every chance I get to do something like that, I do. And something, for example, that I'm going to do here coming up soon, you guys have seen the Caravan in the background. Well, I have intentions to fix that thing up and it actually be my, primary daily. I'm at the point now where, having been sick and having had to go to the doctors after surgery, just after surgery, all the way to the visits leading out to when I'm feeling good enough to move, getting down into my lowered car has been horrible. Not been a good time. So the idea for the minivan is that is me at 35 finally understanding and appreciating that old guy, air quotes, old guy mentality of needing something soft to drive. Now, I don't actually think that's an old guy mentality, but when I was younger, that's exactly what I thought it was. My granddad was like that. He'd all about Cadillac, all about Pontiac, all about all the GM big body cars and how good and fast and powerful and smooth riding they were. Meanwhile, I was forever driving shitty little go-kart oriented, Volkswagens and stuff, and none of that is what his life was at any point. So, just for fun, I'd like to admit, and it's unfortunate because my granddad's been passed for some years now, so I can't call him up and tell him, hey, you were right, but I almost wish I could, because, man, I'm sure he would get a hell of a chuckle out of it if I call him over like, hey, Granddad. He'd be like, what do you need, boy? I'm like, I don't need anything but to tell you you were right. And he'd be like, well, which time? And that'd be the end of it. I'd give up. I'd be like, well, old man, damn it. Oh, yeah. They're still holding there after sitting here for almost a year now, so we're doing all right. Excuse me. I really need to see if that bug lamp works. At one point, I had some extension cords run over here so that I could get the lighting situation a little better. You see one of them up high right now. I don't think that one's plugged in anymore. But this one over here that you can't see me walking over to and climbing up on top of my car for. This one, I'm not sure if I ever unplugged it. And I love how everything always gets super tangled up the moment you touch it. It's like, no, I don't need this, like, here right now to just kind of work. Oh, okay. What do we got? I think we've got a plug that's not plugged in. Alright, let me go look. You guys hold down the fort. Don't let anything fall over or explode. Oh, gosh. I'd like to think that if it works, that I can kind of draw some of the bugs that end up around the house, which I know we're not far, and that's kind of why I think this is still. Yep, here's the plug. Alright, keep an eye on that light for me. We're plugged in. Yep. That would appear to me to be a not working. Now the question becomes, is the outlet working? Because, well, the lights are definitely on in the barn. I don't think I have anything I can plug in out here that would tell me if it was. I think everything I've got is all big 120 stuff. Alright, let me go grab a little light so that we can plug it in and see what's up. I love these little lights. Every time Walmart decides to put the heart ones on sale on clearance for $10 or less, I buy every one of them. Bright. And, yeah, see, we got power. Alright, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this just ain't going to work. I was thinking maybe there was some corrosion built up on the connector or something. Maybe I could get it to wiggle real nice. Oh, look at me. Zip tie has decided it wants to leave the chat. I don't know if there's any easy way to open this up either. It's a shame I don't have a bug or something that I can throw in there. Be like, find out for me, buddy. Although, I'd like to point out, I usually feel like I remember these things having like a distinct hum to them when they power on. And I'm not hearing that hum at all. Which is a shame, because bug lights out here are possibly one of the best resources for bug control. Like, just drawing them away from your area, possibly one of the smartest things you can do. The fucking mosquitoes out here. Never done projects. You guys look like y'all are real close to the woods, especially since y'all logged out everything that you logged out and have the guy working on the timber and everything. I'm sure you guys understand, being in, central North Carolina, how crappy the bugs out our way can really be. As far as Daryl, out in Ohio, same thing. There's lots of woods in Ohio, I'd assume. I haven't necessarily been able to watch every video that you've ever posted, so I don't know that I've seen, like, your immediate surrounding areas or anything. But I can absolutely imagine that Ohio is pretty rough with bugs, or at least can be. Although, when I went to Ohio to go pick up that Volkswagen Passat from way back in the day that's not here anymore, that I never did anything with and wasted $1,700 on, that that really wasn't too bad, and that was a summertime trip. I left work Friday in Suffolk, Virginia at like 1 o'clock, and then I was pulling into just south of Dayton, Ohio, whatever the next closest town in Dayton, Ohio, some Motel 8 or Holiday Inn or something at like midnight, 12:30, 1 o'clock. So it was like a 12-hour straight drive, getting off work, hauling ass out to go get the car. Like I said, I never did anything with it, so yay me. I almost wonder if I should try to build up a load of scrap. Because I'm at the point now where a lot of this stuff just needs to get the hell out of the way. I grabbed this stove because I wasn't sure if it was a working unit or not. That's what I need to do. I need to dolly that thing over to the house and swap it out with mine that's in there and see if it works. Just plug it in and see what happens, because it's also been outside for a long time too, and it's been close enough to the edge that it's been getting pretty well rained on the whole time. So I'm not super sure what to do with that, actually. All I know is the more of this stuff that actually leaves from this position, the more room I'm going to have to fill it in with stuff that I'm trying to protect. And I'm going to be really honest, I don't know how much I care about a used stove or two. Now, I thought about keeping it. The original thought process was replace mine, because this one was kind of nice, and it had like a really good clean top end. I don't know. I might try to plug it in. It's so damn hard to say. Inside. Inside's still clean. I don't see anything going on there, so that's acceptable. Oh, goodness gracious me. Alright, so I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go grab the hand truck. Take too long, did it? I hope not. Sorry. Excuse me. Now there, Red Bull coming through. Okay. Just like that, we've got a cart. And I can put stuff on that cart. I think I'm going to put the tires for the Ford on it. And then we're going to wheel them over to the truck. Start trying to throw them up into the bed. There we go. They're so heavy. Been a while since I've used all these muscles. Bam. just like that, we got a mobile scooter dooter. It's a little wobbly, but what are you gonna do? Oh, let's go for a walk. I think today's video is going to be a little longer than what my normal ones will be, but that's because we're officially making some progress. And I have been dying to get out here and try and get any of this stuff done, because it has needed it bad. That and the doctor told me the swelling in my leg is going to continue to happen until my body learns how to figure itself out and reabsorb all those fluids. Oh, goodness gracious. Whew. That was tough. Okay. All right. Good thing it doesn't hurt. That exhaustion. Feeling beat down after barely doing anything. That has been the worst part of this. All the stamina I had is gone. Gross. I say, don't hit the window, please God. Okay. All right. I can just pick this bad boy back up. Slap it back in. Now we're a dolly again. Okay, let's go back over to the barn. Phew. Man. Sorry for all the super awful heavy breathing, but I'm fat. I'm bad at this. So, you're just gonna have to put up with it. Sorry to say. Okay. See how that's twisted? I don't like that. Okay. I'm gonna set you here. You know what? I'm gonna go around the side. We're gonna go grab that Red Bull. Get us some refreshment. Yeah. Red Bull. Oh, goodness gracious. I tell you what. We're gonna set us up back here. Oh, yeah. Hold that for me. Oh, goodness. That's a pretty good start, though. Now the question becomes, is there any more reason for me to leave the Beetle's front bumper off of it? I can't think of any reason why I can't put it back on. It's, I had it off because I was redoing the radiator, the AC condenser, radiator support. But I finally did all that and got it all tightened up. So, not sure that I have to leave it off anymore. I mean, I know I want to do some body working on it because the front bumper, I'm sure in another video I've shown it up. There's some issues, to say the least. Got some cracking, some really bad chipping, a bunch of paint spots that are actually missing. So, like, there's quite a bit that I want to do to it to try and get it right. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. Because, like, obviously that's one of the biggest pieces, just kind of sitting here chilling in the very middle of the whole deal, is just a front bumper and fender setup, just kind of hanging out. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. While we're sitting here, I'm going to set you here. I know that's not the greatest, most up-close view or anything, but at this moment, I don't really have anything to show. The pollen under here is ridiculous. About to get covered with more of it. So you should just be able to pick this up and gently, very carefully, edge my way over here. Not hit anything. Alright, so we start by sliding over, down. And then it just kind of falls into place a little bit. But you got to be careful. I know you can't see it from way over here, but that little pull tab to pop the hood, you got to make sure you pull that back so that it can come up and out and actually be where it needs to be. And for this, should just be pull the inner fender away. Like that. All right. And now we can shut that down. And the bumper, I mean, obviously I got to put the bolts and stuff back in it, but it is at least a Beetle with a front bumper and fenders now, which is more than I can say it had before, right? And now I've got all this open room, all this space for activities. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is that smoothness. Came off the Jetta. You can see the rest of them look alright. I've got at least 2 good ones I can reuse on another set of wheels at a later date. Oh, no. The question becomes, where do I want to put them? Because I don't... You know what? Why not? I know people freak out when they see people walking on cars. I know that it's not desired. But I'm fat, and this car doesn't run, and so I'm not going through the trouble of trying to move it just to stack stuff on the shelf. We are going to do the bad thing and walk on the edge of everything so that it doesn't bend anything. Oh yeah. Who knows, maybe I'll get lucky and the birds that keep coming in my garage, shitting all over my stuff, will build a nest out here and stay the hell out of my barn. Okay. And just like that, we have a set of tires up on a shelf off of the floor. Oh, man. Every little bit counts, right? I'm going to have to plug that in and see if that made it work. Front lip, front bumper, bag of cans. I don't come around with this. Sneak up in here. We're gonna set that on top of the car. That way, it'll slowly start to work its way back out straight from the heat of just sitting gently. Okay. More Red Bull. Okay. Well, definitely need my jack stands. I believe this to be, I think that's a Mark III radiator fan assembly, but it's been damaged. I think I can bend that back. I'm not sure. Big old turtle shell. For context. Nice and sizable. Got me a big boy thingy. Some kind of sander. What we got in here? Nothing. Cool. I wonder. That's full. Huh. I'm gonna need. Ooh, excuse me. Need both hands for this one. Pull this one out and set that right there. Lighters and match. Looks like a well-used hatchet. Pretty well-used hammer. It's that flame-hardened hickory. Oh. Alright, well this is some, what looks like woodworking tools. I don't really have much of a need for this, but it's a nice sized box that I can fit a lot of really good stuff in, so we'll have to revisit this at a later date. Although it doesn't have the other loop, so I might not use it after all. I guess going with the theme, here is another thing. I believe what do they call these? A router? Change out your bit right here, and since we got the plug out, let's find out if any of this stuff works real quick. Come on, guy. Okay. It's a 1 horsepower router. The lock works and my vote is that yes, it does work. Now that the shaft lock is in, you ain't gotta worry about taking your fingers off. Cool. I have a working, old school Craftsman router. That's nifty. I guess let's try the sander real fast too. Go ahead and find out if this thing works. Because if it does work, that's money. Ah! I'm going to say yes. That also works. And this is also another Sears Best Craftsman. That's back when they used to make tools that were worth a shit. You think about this. Let's see if I can find a date on this. Even still has the little plastic viewport on the one side. It's a model 315.17461, 110 to 120 volts, 60 hertz, 6.5 amps. Looks like this does not have a date code on it, but it does say proudly made in the USA. What about that one? No, also doesn't have a date on it. That's because they knew their shit back then was going to be timeless. And then it's also got the matching Craftsman box. Like, come on, y'all. You can't sleep on that, can you? Hell no, you can't. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab me a little broom so I can dust that off. I has broom. It's not perfect, but, you know, we ain't winning no awards over here. I love it. Oh, I understand now. So what we're going to do is that right there. Now, we're going to go all the way up to where it'll sit flat. And then we're going to tighten this collar back down. Just like that. So now, good, solid, sturdy surface. And now it's a nice, neat little thing. It's horrible. This is, again, one of the moments where I'm like, what do I do with it now? Because I don't really have a good spot dedicated for woodworking tools at the moment. So I'm not real sure that I can do anything with it. Sorry for the long silence. I don't actually know where I want to put most of this stuff right at the moment because I wasn't really intending on this stuff working. Part of what I was going to do. Oh, let me get my hand out of the way. Part of what I was going to do was hope that some of these pieces of equipment like this weren't working, so that I could just break the plastic off of them and take the motors out and throw them in the scrap pile. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. At least not the working ones. I can't throw stuff that works away. That's not in my blood. That's part of the hoarding thing. The bad part is, I don't know if you can see it through that tiny little crack in the wall right there, that little gap. I got a pegboard thing held up with all kinds of drills and other woodworking tools that have been sitting in this barn for freaking ever as well. Some of them are Milwaukee, some of them are Craftsman. And I just don't have any good place to put it. You see, I've got some pole clamps over there that I've been neglecting. Like, there's just so much shit that I've got that I can't believe I've got it. Like, I'm also just realizing that I've got brand new blades for a brush hog over there. Like, I don't know if it's for this one, but I've got them. Let's go in here for a second and see if there's anything we can work out. Some kind of... You see up here on this wall, I got the belt sander, drill. I got an even older Craftsman right there. I got a Boss Stitch and a DeWalt gun. I think that one is the small Boss Stitch. I think that's a brad nailer, like an old school drum fed brad nailer. You see, I still got my stereo trying to do something in here. Turbo parts, just lovingly laid gently on the ground for it to get ruined. Shit on a shingle. I'm just not sure. I don't really know that I have anywhere good to put any of this stuff. I don't really want to put it on the wall or in the filing cabinets, but if I have to, I suppose I have to. Is that part of needing more storage? I need more usable storage, because you see all this mess, just shit on shit. Oh, God almighty. What am I going to do? See, I got some lowering springs over. There's the other tail light that matches the one that's in there. See, I got a whole stack of tires over there too. If anybody knows how to fix cast aluminum wheels, I got a crack right there. If you want to fix it for me, let your boy know, because I'd love to keep my super nice Borbet Type C's. See, there's a roof. Really hard to see. See if I can come over here and get you a little closer to it. Let's see if you can see it, but there's a roof right there, and then there's a secondary lean-to here. What I need is I need help clearing out all of this crap right here, which I may actually come in here with the mower on high and just try to rip into it and see what I can get. But essentially, I want to take these posts down, take that fence down, open this up all right here, and then take it all the way that way and open each of those stalls up so that I can actually try to put some stuff under there. That was an addition to the barn years and years and years ago that it's in better shape than any of the other parts of the barn. So it's definitely a section of ceiling that I would like to do something with. Boy. It's funny, I don't ever feel overwhelmed until I walk around looking for places to put things. And then it's like, ah, shit, what do I do with this? Ah, shit, what do I do with that? Oh, shit, oh, shit. I guess I can keep loading this thing down a little bit. I don't know that I want to, though, because this thing's got so much shit in it already. I don't really want to... Oh, boy. Oh, well. See all the carpenter bees tearing my barn up? It's good stuff, right? I love them. I don't know if I've ever told you guys this before, but if you take and get you a dustpan, you can whap these guys, and it makes one of the most satisfying thumps you ever hear. And you can see they're tearing my barn to pieces. They're eating it alive. You can see all the different rotted sections, all the holes all over the place. There you go. That's a good example. All the rot over top of each of them holes. It's like, come on, guys. What are you gonna do? Well, I'm gonna tell you what. All things considered, I got 4 really heavy wheels and tires out of the way. I got my small set of Toyos that I'm keeping for the time being out of the way. I got the Beetle front clip laid back on it so that it can at least kind of hang out and chill. I think that's all right so far. It's not perfect, it's not great, it's not as much as I want to get done, but, you know, I am kind of limited as to what I can actually do. And not being able to put things places is a pretty big part of whether or not it's sustainable to keep any of it. And so, I don't know. I might end up looking into getting rid of a lot of this stuff. I might package it all together and put it on a Facebook post for a few $100s and just test everything out real good, confirm that it works. I'll find any materials or supplies for each of the pieces of equipment, put it all together. Obviously, if some of it's like this routers are from what I remember, relatively expensive driven precision pieces of equipment for woodworking. I think those things go for some pretty reasonable money new. But to have an older one that doesn't have all the bullshit going on with it like the newer ones do, doesn't have the quality issues. I mean, damn thing's probably 20 years old and still works great. Doesn't even have the first issue after having sat outside in the cold, in the heat, rain, sleet, or snow, covered in pollen, covered in sawdust, everything else. Damn thing fired right off. Just immediate. It's like, yes, I can do that. So I might end up keeping them, but what the hell am I supposed to do with all of the stuff? Well, I think after sitting here and pondering for a little while, I might end up going to Walmart this weekend, and I might look at buying a couple of the heavy-duty Rubbermaid Tupperware storage tote things, and I might see what I can do to figure it out, because I don't think I want to get rid of any of it. I don't think I want to sell any of it. My money situation's never great, but it's never actually that bad either. So it's like I don't really need the money that bad for me to want to get rid of any of these parts. I can't picture myself using them in the immediate time. Like, I'm not real sure what that type of sander would be for outside of woodworking and trying to smooth out stuff, but like, I don't know. I don't think that's the right kind for a car. And the router, obviously, that's not car related at all. Not unless you're doing like woodworking for trim work, like on an old Econoline van or something like that, where it was one of the fancy ones with the wood in it. I could see that, but I couldn't really see anything beyond that idea. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a thing for another day. I ain't really got anything I can do with it today. But progress is progress. Every little bit I can make is something I hadn't had before. So opening this up like this, I can pull this carpet out of here. I can get back down to the ground. I can try and sort some of this stuff out again. Like I said, get in here with another car for storage. I'd really like to put that Mark IV wagon over by the Ford in here, because that car runs. That car runs really good and only needs minor things that I have the parts to fix. I just haven't had the time to get around to it. It's not my car yet. I'd like to buy it from my buddy, but I haven't had any extra cash flow to be able to say, hey, here's my offer. What do you think? Because it's got 200,000 miles on it, and it needs a time developed water pump kit and all that good stuff. But it's like, I'll do a timing belt and water pump. I'll service the transmission if it means that it's going to be a good running and driving car. Like, mileage doesn't really intimidate me that badly. It's not one of those things that bothers me, because I'll just put another engine in something. I'll put another transmission in it. But when it comes to, you know, interior pieces, body rot and stuff like that, Daryl, I hate to tell you, buddy, I'm not a body guy. I wish I was. I wish I had the eye for it, but I feel like it's a combination of not having the patience for it and then not having the patience for it. I am a very immediate result kind of guy. I like knowing that I can walk up to my car and start on what I want to start on. I might not finish it that same moment or day, but I know that eventually I will get to it. It will happen. I just have to get there. I just don't think I'll ever get there. I can see that there was a cat at some point that jumped up on Disappointment's windshield. Looks kind of recent. I'm gonna have to put a trap out and try and catch him. Turn him over to the SPCA. We have feral cats out here in the county, and they're surprisingly not as bad as they could be. But my buddy Josh, he's got a neighbor that won't ever do anything about any of them. And they got like 40 freaking cats out there, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And take a page out of Bob Barker's book and tell you, go ahead and don't forget to get all your pets spayed and neutered. And there are instances where if you contact your local animal control and or SPCA, they may, if you explain the situation about there being lots of feral animals, if you can trap them without harming them, they may fix them for free to try and stop the local population of feral cats growing. So, something to think about. Something to think about. I'm in the middle of nowhere, and I can't believe that there's a feral cat. I don't leave any food outside. We don't do none of that. We don't leave anything consumable out in the open. None of that. None of that. But here we are. Goddamn cat on my car. In an area where there is nothing. Like, there's no sustenance over here. So clearly it's coming in to either get up inside of the... Like, I'm sure it's gone up onto the car, then gone up onto that shelf with the tires, and then it jumps up into the ceiling of the barn. So, we'll have to figure that out one day. There is definitely a lot to do out here, that is for sure. A lot of junk. Yep. See if we're still recording. Oh, looks like we are. Looks like an hour and 24 minutes. Alright, well, I know I didn't get a lot done, but I got what I could done, and I feel pretty good about it. A lot of this minor stuff, like going around picking up the cans and throwing them in bags, disposing of these bottles and stuff, I don't really feel like I need to bring you along with it, so I think I'm going to go ahead and cut the video here. This has been another joy for me, being able to just come out here and not feel alone. One of the hardest things about being sick was that my world stopped. Everything for me stopped. But, you know, people around me, they still have jobs and responsibilities and families that they have to get to, and not to sound, you know, all sad, down, and depressed, but like YouTube, you know, Never Done Projects, Grand Pito Vic, Grandma Vic, Daryl, like Adam, man, you guys really did make it a lot easier to just sit and not have anything. Like, I'm not terribly emotional or anything, but I can confirm that it's not a fun time knowing that you can't move around, being stuck in limbo about the way you feel and like what your body's doing. And I like and appreciate everything about YouTube on the average day when it comes to the community. The people I've met on this app have been some of the greatest people I think anybody could meet. You know, some of the most down-to-earth, some of the most reasonable, some of the most logical, just good people. And, you know, I can't thank you guys enough for that. And I don't really know how I could thank you other than just saying thank you. Like, I really do appreciate the company. Like, you guys, it might not be that much to y'all because y'all are just hanging out, chilling, talking to a friend or a buddy on the internet. But, like, for me, you know, my wife goes to work for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, and I've been stuck here largely by myself for it. And I get a little bit of phone interaction here and there with my buddy Morgan, but it's like, it's not necessarily the same. Because when I'm walking around my yard talking on the phone, he doesn't know what I'm talking about. He can't see what I'm talking about, and I can't discuss things with him. But, you know, something about having the video camera, being able to walk around and show you what I'm talking about and show you what I'm trying to do and then do it. It's like, I don't know, it's like you're all here all the time. You know, I can talk to the camera and I can explain things and I don't have to feel like I'm being some long-winded asshole for no reason, preaching at people about what I'm talking about. It's like, it's a different dynamic coming onto YouTube and meeting the people I've met. Like, it's been a genuine pleasure. And I don't foresee that changing. I'm going to keep trying to, you know, record and upload videos, and as I get all this mess tightened up and things get more and more cleaned up, I do intend on actually getting into the nitty-gritties of all these different cars. I've got the Beetle to fix. I've got to rebuild the gearbox, shifter box in it. I've got to rebuild some of the interior. I've got to figure out what's going on with the AC, why it didn't hold a charge. There's some real work to be done around here, but like, as I can get this stuff cleaned up and as I can catch up on the stuff that got away from me while I was working on trying to heal and get better, I will hopefully be able to get a little better about some of the stuff that I'm doing. You know, bring in more content, bring in more variety, because this is now my second video. This is my part 2 of trying to clean things up. And again, you see, I'm out here for an hour and a half. I don't cut. I don't take any breaks or anything. So it's like, you get to see at what rate I get stuff done. Some of this stuff happens nice and fast. Some of this stuff doesn't happen at all. And it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to pick and choose what I want to do each day because there's always so much going on. There's always such a large list of things that needs to be done. And so if you guys can bear with me and work with me while I get caught up on all this nonsense, get rid of all this mess, get all this grass taken care of and back under control, get something of a real routine happening for all this, and I do believe that I will be able to do a much better job at trying to record. And you know, the more things I take off of my list, the more things I'm not having to focus on anymore. And that's really where I'm at. I am still sick in the sense that I am still recovering. I am still hurt, but I am also at that point in the recovery where I've been told that I need to move. I need to get up and I need to get moving. If I want my body to go back to normal, if I want my life to go back to normal, if I don't want to hurt anymore, if I don't want to deal with swelling, I have to be out here. I have to move. And so I'm going to try really hard to use recording these hour and a half long videos each day as a motivator to get me going. And I want to point out that I didn't have this motivation. You can see that a lot of my content has been hit or miss. You can look through my page and you can see that I've got dozens on dozens of videos. Some of them have thousands, tens of thousands of views because they were really, really, really well thought out videos for what I thought people needed to know about cars, about Volkswagen specifically. Like, I've got a flush video that I did on my Mark III on disappointment here, shit, like 8 years ago. And it's probably one of my most viewed videos that I've done. I have another video, I think it's the Beetle tie rods, or it was the Passat tie rods, or it was the Dodge tie rods. But those videos did incredibly well. Gave me thousands on thousands of views. And it's like, I'd like to get back to that. I'd like to be getting back to content that people want to see and content that people need. Not everybody always needs a how-to. And unfortunately, with me not having the the resources and the time to clean up as well as try to get across these cars, it's tough. It's tough. It's a lot to do, you know, and none of it brings any money either. So I have to balance my time with my responsibilities and what I want. I'm hoping that this year I can maybe get lucky and move around some of this stuff, and I can possibly get back into trying to do a little bit of side work and hustle up some cash for the barn specifically, so that I can go through and try my damnedest to pick up new tools, go ahead and get parts flowing back in again, go ahead and get back to some semblance of normalcy. You know, anybody who's done any kind of, you know, mechanicking work knows it's not hard to make money as a mechanic. You can find all kinds of people everywhere that need work done, and it's not hard. The problem is, I've had so many instances in my life where I've proverbially let loose the floodgates and told people to go ahead and bring me their cars, and before I know it, I'm loaded down with a bunch of cars that have way worse problems than what were originally, you know, told to me. And it's just like, man, I don't need that headache. But if I can get a little bit more organization to this and get to a point where I can catch up, get everything cleaned up, get a little further on my own endeavors, then maybe I can pick up just the littlest bit of side hustle on this stuff and start trying to make an extra cash flow for parts. You know, if I do a $100 brake job, that's $100 in supplies. I can go buy 2 cases of brake clean, I can get some purple power, I can get a bunch of consumable stuff like sandpapers, polishes, etc., all stuff that'll ultimately help me do what I want to do out here. Because there is a lot to do. Disappointment alone, I have a whole turbo build that I want to do. The turbo that's in there on the floor is actually for this car, and it's like, I have plans to try and get all of this stuff done to some capacity, but there's just some of it is just so time consuming that there's not a lot you can do about it. You have to wait for this, you have to jump on that. There's only so much you can do in order to build something when you're not able to get everything every time. Like, going in and trying to work on a car and having my tools strode all over the place is an example of what I'm talking about. I can say until I'm blue in the face that I can do this, I can do that, and I can do that. I can't do it if I can't find the tool that I own for it. It's just that simple. If I can't find the tool, if I can't make the tool, I'm not going to get that thing apart. And so, having it be as messy out here as it is, and having my tools all over the place like they are, that's like the main concern. That's why this cleanup vlog is probably going to end up being like a part fucking 20 by the end of it, because there's no easy, quick way to do this without indiscriminately throwing everything I've worked really hard on away. And I don't want to do that. I don't feel like I need to give up on everything that I had ideas for just because I don't necessarily have the car for it, or I don't have the motivation for it, or the parts, or whatever. You know, all that stuff will come. When I'm strong enough and I'm healed enough, I'm absolutely going to go find another job if I have to. That's not a big deal. If I can't find a way to make my own money by myself and turn my skills into something profitable, then damn it, I'm gonna go back to a 9-to-5 job just like everybody else does, and I'm gonna do my best to try and make a little bit of a living there while also balancing out this car stuff. But because I'm sure I rambled for another 15 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the video here. If you liked what you saw, if you appreciated my commentary or banter, please feel free to leave me a like below. Comment if you want to discuss anything I talked about, anything I said, if you want to see something specific, leave me a comment. I have no problem whatsoever with suggestions, recommendations, or even criticisms. I love when people interact with my videos. I love when people reach out to me and tell me what they liked or didn't like. Although I'll warn you, if you decide to try and troll me and be a prick, I'm going to let you know now, I could not give a fifth of a fuck less about negativity. I hate myself more than all of you combined. So, good luck. Take your shot. Shoot your shot. Say your shit. Because, if anything, you might talk some shit to me, and then I'll talk some cash shit to you, and then we might be buddies because I made you laugh. So, at the end of the day, comment. Let me know what your feelings are. Let me know what you want to say. Let me hear it. Let me read it. Whatever you want to call it. Whatever. But on that bombshell, I'm going to go ahead and cut this video out and go try and figure some more stuff out and get this shit cleaned.